Hello, everybody. Welcome to Miss Stephanie's house. Thank you. So I ordinarily start with a song, and I've been very sick this past week, really extreme allergies. So I'm going to take this time because my voice isn't exactly back to where I want it to be. So in that case, I don't want to overexert it and do more damage to it. So I'm just taking it easy. That's why I'm not really singing today. But I'm going to take this time to express the perils of being a singer, because people don't really understand how hard it actually is. I mean, people when you're a model or something, it's actually a lot harder than it looks. I have a degree in opera and classical music, vocal performance, opera classical music. And 20 years ago, I gave up caffeine because it wasn't good for my voice. So I've made a lot of sacrifices over the years. And, your teachers always tell you, you can't have this life where I like to party so much in college. And they were like, you can't do that. And I was like, no, I can do it all, because when you're young, you don't heed advice and you just do whatever you want. So it is really hard. You can't really go to a lot of loud clubs and bars. That's extremely bad for your voice. Even going to a restaurant where the music is pumped up really loud. We make a lot of sacrifices to sing. We do. I think one of the hardest ones is I was on vocal rest one time, doctor's orders, for a week. Have you ever been, you've been on, it's well, first of all, you have to start, if this is before text messages, right? So I was really at a loss. I was having to write things down, and then my roommate started writing back to me even though he could talk, and he was like, I think that, communication would be a lot better, because then people would take a lot longer for people to have, if they were pissed off about something and having to write it out, why didn't you do this? They would just be like, you know what, screw it. But I actually think at the end of the day, it's, it could be possibly hurting my relationship status, because if you think about it, when I'm on vocal rest, what kind of a man wants to be with a woman who cannot talk? That's what I thought. So, anyway, I think there's one back there. Yeah. So the perils of being a vocalist. We have a very wonderful show for you today. We have Killy Dwyer here. Yeah. We also have celebrity chef Emily Peterson is here with us. So, without further ado, let me give you a little background on Killy. She has been called many things. Vivacious, sarcastic, unique, a tiny blonde powerhouse who does an incredible job of balancing smart with funny and catchy. Her essence is that of a punk cabaret performer, a comedian, performance artist, and all-around rock star. Who, as it has been said, if you could tap into a fraction of her energy, you could power Vegas for a week. She was a finalist in the 9th and 10th Andy Kaufman Awards and won Frigid's Fest Audience Choice Award in 2010 and 2013. We are very honored to have her here with us today, so please welcome Killy Dwyer.
It's really nice to refresh your memory about all the awesomeness that you are as a person. I am really truly honored and blessed to be here, and it's a privilege and a pleasure for you guys to get to see me play. So I'm kind of pumped about that. I've been doing music for a long time, and I decided that I wanted to do some more educational type stuff, and I felt like it was important that people, that my music do something for people. Can you guys hear that out there? I can't really hear myself. Okay, good. I'm gonna trust. And so I wanted to, kind of educate and take my music to the next level. And so, how many people out there know about the clitoris? Yeah. That's good. That's an excellent response. I mean, there are often times where no one, usually it's in an audience of men. They're like, And so here I am to educate you. I'm gonna just let the song do its thing, which I can't. I'm not hearing anything on here.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Actually, at all. I'm not hearing any. Not hearing anything. That's okay. Live. Hey, we're live streaming. Shit happens. All right. Well, let's try this then. Okay. Well, let's try that. I think it's just best to just roll with it. Yeah, I hear it now. That's good. I like a little. That's nice. Yeah. I think it's gonna work out fine. I'm gonna need a little more volume. I can do it here, actually. Sorry, I just want to be able to hear myself. That's good. Here we go. Yeah, now it's started. See, it's much like sex, you need to get you need to get into it, you need to make stuff start happening. You need to get down there, get down and dirty, sort of. Put it in your spank bank. Don't be a stank skank and diddle your fiddle. It's a grand old Opry. Pick your lima bean and roll your bow. Make your flower grow. Grab that gift, untie that bow because God, I want you to come. God, I want you to come. God, I want you to come. Say, God, I want you to come. 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 You drive me crazy. Won't stop and ask for some direction, babe. I'm not a rental, makes me mental, sentimental, detrimental when you ride that way, drive that way. You're lost and then you're found, see. Don't know your way around this body. Drunk dick, too much wine, that's the wrong move for the very last time. Use your Google Maps, cause your problem's not balls. Do you want tears or do you want to brawl? Do you mix ball for my jingle balls? Do you want tears or do you want to brawl? Do you mix ball for my jingle balls? Do you want tears or do you want to brawl? Do you mix ball for my jingle balls? Do you want tears or do you want to brawl? Do you mix ball for my jingle balls? Do you want not there to procreate, just there to stimulate. So tootie on that hooded fish whistle. She's the star of the show. If you're in the know, it's about that sweet spot and not about the whole because I want you to come. Do you want tears or do you want to brawl? I want you to come. Do you want tears or do you want to brawl? I want you to come. Do you want tears or do you want to brawl? Do you want tears or do you want to brawl? God wants you to come. God wants you to come. Thank you. Yay! sometimes during that song I actually get on the floor and try to make myself calm, but I feel like people are eating. It's kind of weird. Although I think food and sex they really complement each other. Depending on the food, though, you don't want to bring a lobster into the bedroom. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we should address. Maybe we'll have that. We'll definitely. We're gonna go over that. So I am peaking a bit, so I'm gonna take it down a little bit. On acid. I took some acid before the show because I thought, hey, why not? I just felt like it was a good idea. To trip balls on Miss Stephanie's show. So I am a bit of a hypochondriac, and that is just the truth. Hi, baby. How are you? I recently got all my tests done, and I did the whole stirrups thing, and fisting and all that good stuff that the dentist does. Right? And everything came out clear. Everything's clean. Everything's good. And they obviously missed something because I am definitely dying. I don't trust these people who seem to know everything. So this is that. Let's go with this. Hold on. Let's take this down a little bit. Let's take that to this. It's like a spaceship. This thing, and I wish you could come and see it. And it's like you were saying, it's like a lot harder than it looks because I'm doing about 5,000 things at one time. So let's see how that goes with that. All right. Yes, the fart. I never said this was highbrow stuff I was doing. All right. Achoo! I don't feel right, calling sick cause I don't feel well. My stomach aches and I salivate when I hear a bell. And it tastes like chalk and pennies, that can't be right. I feel like I can't breathe and my chest is getting tie-high. I was watching Dr. Oz, yo, what a pompous prick. He said no symptoms, no discomfort, don't mean you're not sick. Well, I have that, or do I mean that I do not? I went on WebMD, and I saw 100 things I do got. Spina bifida, rickets and scarlet fever too. Flesh-eating bacteria, and also the swine flu. The mumps and the measles, the clap and the shingles, cancer. Let me just make sure, let me just take, I'm not okay because I'm dying. And like you guys are all dying. We're all. Oh my God! I heard a bell. Well, what are you gonna do? Good. Hypochondriac. I'm a hypochondriac, I think that I'm dying. Scurvy made Ebola, please know that I'm not lying. My tumor's just too small to show up on my x-ray. I'll go back to the doctor tomorrow, twice the next day, Zoc Doc. There's no Zoc Docs, right? A Zoc Doc.
1-800-Dennis.
I said,
1-800.
we're taking it up. I said, you think I'm crying wolf? You think it's paranoia? I said, I brought you a stool sample, which just seemed to annoy ya. I said, please take my blood and a urine sample too. When I feel happy and just fine, I don't know what to do. I said,
1-800-Dennis.
I said,
1-800-Dennis.
all right, let's take it all the way down. This is the moral of the story. This is the whole moral. I'm going to even take that all out. I'm going to take everything out. I'm a hypochondriac. I told you I was dying, and I'm singing to you from my grave. Now, you know that I wasn't lying. Just because you think you're dying don't mean that you're not. It took me 90 years to die from what I got. Natural causes. Thank you. Such a sad song. Thank you. You know, it's like a wild ride. Because when I'm doing what I'm doing, I just want to be able to see the people at home. Hi guys. Hi, I love you guys. Oh God, I love you so much. I want to do a song about traveling, and I feel like that might be my last song. I'm not sure where we are on time, but just for now, don't worry. Don't cry. It's okay. I'll be back. I'll be back. But I did want to do a song about traveling because I do my fair share of traveling around the world. I went to Cleveland recently. I'm from Ohio. It's a good place to leave. You know what I'm saying? Hope nobody from Ohio is watching. This is the first song I ever wrote doing the style of music that I do now, which is, what do you call this? I have no idea. Punk cabaret, yes. I think that's good. And I'm going to leave it at that.
Is that all right with you, babe?
Yep. Here we go. That's good. Waiting for the train to arrive, I sigh and a smile and a look in your eyes. We sit and I tell you a joke, and you laugh and you smile, and we sit and we smoke. Talk about the good old times when pennies were nickels and nickels were dimes, and you tried to act like the end never came. But I really couldn't get you out of my brain. And I used to love you, and you used to love me, and then we didn't anymore. So we set each other free, and it was strange how I ran into you today on the other side of the world. And you told me I turned you gay. I turned you gay? I thought that was like a sciencey thing, you know? I thought it was like it's like a it's like your uncle, yeah. Here we go. I turned you gay, turned you gay, turned you gay, turned you gay. Here's how how it went down. You said I turned you gay when I peed on you in our shower, when I picked off your scalp and I ate it, when I pooped on her scale and I weighed it. You said I turned you gay when I pulled my tampon out and I threw it at you. I hadn't shaved for 8 years and I had a jar of wax I collected. Guess where from? My 2 ears, 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 2 ears. You said I turned you gay when I picked you up in front of your jar of your wax out of my bag and threw it at your eye. Goodbye. Thank you. I am so happy to be here. I'm going to bring Stephanie back up, and I'll see you guys later. Okay, bye.
Yeah, don't go away, because she's going to come back in the next set. That song kind of made me think of a current event. I guess because I'm sure she's watching. I want to give a shout out to Bruce Jenner, right? I did not watch the interview, but I watched some clips. And I have to say, for somebody being that high profile, I think that I really commend him. I don't know what to refer to Bruce as. I don't know. What is he? Her? Is it her? Like it's proper? Heather. Heather. Well, that's a nice name. I think it was really good. Actually, I wanted to say something about that before because I think it's really awesome that he's bringing a lot of attention to it. So the Kardashians, I guess that kind of segued into something very useful. Also, I wanted to... I hate putting this kind of in the same little clump right now, but I wanted to send some prayers and wishes out to Nepal after the catastrophic earthquake that was there. And hopefully there'll be more survivors than we think. Now that I've brought everybody down, before I introduce our next guest, I want to say I felt a little bit of pressure because I'm a baker. And since we moved our show out of our original secret location, I haven't been able to express myself in that realm so easily on the show, but today I brought a little treat for someone because I was like, well, if there's gonna be a chef here, I gotta like kind of show off what I do as a baker, right? So I have a special treat for everybody that's here. That does not have drugs in it. Just I feel like that's a disclaimer that I have to put out there because when people say to me, they're like, oh, thanks so much. Is it special? I'm like, no, you'd be paying for that. Anyway. So, let me tell you a little bit about our next guest. As a baker, I'm very excited to welcome our next guest. Chef Emily is a food writer, culinary instructor, and executive chef at Astor Center here in New York City. She is a professor of food studies at NYU and Montclair State University. Her work has been featured on Martha Stewart in the New York Times, The Village Voice, Time Out New York, Huffington Post, CBS, NBC, Fox, Food Network, and Vegetarian Times. She hosts a weekly call-in radio show, Sharp and Hot, on heritageradionetwork.org, and you can find her culinary videos full of very useful tips and tricks on her website. So, please put your hands together for celebrity chef Emily!
Hi, everybody. Okay, a couple of housekeeping things. Killy, someone in Ohio is listening. Hi, Julie. I'm telling her someone in Ohio is listening. She just tweeted me to say, Julie in Ohio is listening. And I wrote that intro, and it still sounds impressive. Like it's true. Like you hear someone else tell you about yourself, and you're like, yeah. When you hear it all this like that, it sounds like I make money. So the way that I got the job title to be a celebrity chef is that I just started telling people that I'm a celebrity chef. When people ask me what I do, it takes me like 5 minutes to get through. I teach and I write and I have this radio show. And if you just say, I'm a celebrity chef, they're like, are you in the Food Network? And I was one time. And I feel like that's all it did. I'm like, yes. And then people are like, okay, I know where to compartmentalize you. I understand what you do. I understand that you are who you are. And I don't need to know anything else about it. Because celebrity chefs are where it's at. And I just like jumped ship on a career that wasn't going anywhere, landed where I am. So I'm very excited for your gift. But I'll tell you that I came from a very, very long line of cooks. And I have been cooking since I could see over the stove. I have very vivid memories of my mom making French toast and standing next to her like this. And her going, not yet. And then eventually she taught me how to make French toast. And then I had this like existential crisis, which is to realize that she wasn't going to cook for me anymore. I was this like little kid. And I was like, now I'm the cook. And I was like 5. It was like the realization that I had reading the cereal box. I remember reading a Cheerios box and realizing that I could read, and I would never go back to being able to not read. And that was also, I was like a deep kid. I was a deep kid. And then I grew up and was like, fuck this, we're all gonna die. There's no reason. So, I know, oh, let me tell you, spoken like a true hypochondriac, I just had all my blood work done and I have high cholesterol. So the doctor said, well, what's your diet like? I said, it's great. And so everyone's like, well, what are you going to do? And I said, stop going to the doctor. I'm fine. Like, nothing was wrong. I just figured, like, I mean, I had like a spot on my skin, which it turns out is the #1 reason people finally go to the doctors, because I wanted to know what that was. I didn't care about my cholesterol, wasn't asking, didn't want to know. So I grew up in a huge family of cooks. My dad was a hunter. We had rabbits we were allowed to name and rabbits we were not allowed to name. And he grew our food, and my parents raised honeybees. He raised chickens, and I have a clear memory of bringing a friend home from school, and we like had this long driveway on a flag lot, and I could see at the top of the driveway my dad's pickup truck with the tailgate down. She didn't know what we were seeing, but what I was seeing was 100 yellow chicken feet and all of the fluff from the chicken butchery that had happened that my dad didn't clean up in time and didn't know I had a play date. So I had to explain to Amanda, Katina, hey, sorry, what that was about. But her dad was cool because he used to buy us frog dissection kits, so we were good spirits. So my dad, being a hunter, used to go out to Pennsylvania Dutch country to hang out with my Uncle Jimbo, who is not a blood relative, but a beloved member of my family. And they would go hunting, and he would come back with something called scrapple. And scrapple is a meat pudding that is formed into a block, and then you slice it and fry it in butter and eat it with maple syrup, and it is phenomenally delicious. And it's a little like Spam. It's not as salty as Spam, and it has almost no fat in it at all. So as an adult, I decided to set out and answer this question that as a little kid, I would sit at the dining room table, and my dad would come home, and it was like this butcher paper wrap block, and he would thunk it down on the thing and open it. And I would be scarfing it down. And my mother had the reaction that half the population has when you say, do you like scrapple? Which is, oh my God. I was like, oh, no, eating it up. And I would say to my dad every single time, like this religious incantation, I would say, what's in it? And he would like get all sparkly and he would say, everything but the oink. So, as an adult and as a chef and as a food writer, I get paid to answer questions like, what's in it? So I got in my car, and I drove out, I should say, first I called Uncle Jimbo, and I asked Uncle Jimbo where I should go. And Uncle Jimbo looks like a garden gnome in the best possible way. Without the hat, but with the colorful pants. And he was like, okay, you gotta go here, this Dietrich's Meats, and you gotta go here, and you have to go here. And this place is gourmet scrapple. And I was like, awesome. And he said, as we got off the phone, he said, and just so you know, www.scrapple.com is available. So if you want to go into business, let me know. And he's got this like big boisterous laugh. And I was like, okay. So I get off the phone, and I realize that I'm about to drive into Pennsylvania Dutch country and confront butchers with the question of what's in it, which I like created this worst case scenario, which was it would be large men with knives and white lab coats soaked with blood, and they would look at me like I was invading their space. So I'm driving, and I get to the first place, and I go in. I'm like, I got my notebook. Is there someone I could talk to about what's in your scrapple? And the woman pulls back this curtain on the butchery room, and my worst case scenario is standing right there. So I'm like, okay. So she calls one of the guys forward, and she's like, she wants to know about scrapple. And he's like, well, you cut it about an inch thick, and you fry it in butter, and you serve it with maple syrup. And I was like, no. And she's like, no, she wants to know what's in it. And he said, well, it's everything that's left on the bones of the pig before the carcass is, done away with. So we take all the beautiful cuts, and then we make scrapple out of everything else. We boil the bones, we make a stock, and he was actually very, very generous with information. I was like, okay. And I was like, I got back in my car, I was like, okay, it was way more intense than I thought it was going to be. So I go to the next place, and let me pause here and say that as someone who teaches people how to think about food and sort of the critical underpinnings of their decisions, like some people are vegetarians, and some people are gluten-free, and some people are pescatarians, except when there's a really good burger on order and like on a particular barbecue that no one's ever going to know about. And so I try to like give people the opportunity to really critically think about where they draw their line on the spectrum of will eat and won't eat. And everything's arbitrary. Where you choose to put your line is totally fine. We live in a country where you're free to choose. So I go to the next butcher shop, and I should say I'm pretty far out on the spectrum. Like, I'll pretty much eat anything. You put it in front of me, somebody's created it with care, and I will eat it. So I go to the next butcher shop, and it's this kind of tourist trap in Pennsylvania Dutch country. And you walk in, and there's all these like homey pies and cookbooks and history of the area and quilts hanging on the wall. And along the right-hand wall of the space, there's all of these jelly jars, and it's apricot jelly and peach jelly and I'm just getting orange fruits are coming from me. Blueberry and all these like beautiful, lovely things, like jewels that are kind of backlit by the sunlight. And it's so pastoral. And you walk along the counter, and there's a little break, and the shelving continues, and what I think is the same stuff. And there's a woman sitting in that little break where the cashier's counter is, and her skin and her hair and her glasses and her eyes are all the same pallor gray in a way that I can't, she's very unsettling to look at. And I say, do you work here? Like, I didn't even know how to approach. And what do you want? And I was like, well, I'm here because I'm writing this story about what's in scrapple. And she says, oh, well, we put in the pork meat and the pork bones, but we don't put any of that gross stuff in. Because there's this perception that it's like brain and liver and kidneys and God only knows what else. And I was like, oh. And she says, yeah, no, we save that for pickling. And I realized that this continuation of shells is not, in fact, strawberry jam anymore. It is pig brains and pig hearts and duck tongues and rabbit esophagus. It is nothing goes to waste in this community. And I learned where my line on the spectrum between will eat and won't eat is, because I walk the walk, I raise my own food now. I raise my own chickens now. And I'm like, people are like, yeah, she's really doing it. She's not just talking about it. She's like doing it. So I'm standing there looking at these jars of pickled pig, and God only knows. And I said, well, how do people eat it? And I'm trying to. So in Pennsylvania Dutch country, this is lunch. This is like you stand at the back of your pickup truck, you crack it open, and you just eat it. So when I rail against gluten-free by choice diets, self-selected allergies, I have, can I horrify the audience? And then I'm not going to go any deeper. I'm just going to put a fact out there and let it hang. Sharpandhot.com, listen in. You cannot be vegan and also eat organic food. Those two things are impossible, mutually exclusive. I just heard the camera gasp. Because the fertilizers that are used to propagate, it's blood meal, bone meal, and feather meal that the chemical fertilizers are based on. So the chemical synthesis. Yeah, pretty much. But I'll let you say that. Vegans are full of shit. I would never say that. But like I said, so there's this will eat, won't eat spectrum, and I know where my line is. And so I have to respect everyone's line. It's your own decision to make. And I am in the luxurious position of getting to make a living helping people answer those questions. So there's some paper out in the bar area. If you guys have cooking questions, I know I forgot until just now, feel free to write them down and I will answer them. I have a couple in my pocket already. And if you are at home listening, you can tweet at Chef Emily P. And if my phone buzzes, I'll pull it out. I'll answer anything, whatever question you have. So far, nothing. I got nothing because this is the first time I said it. But if you have a cooking question, this is my bread and butter. This is what I do, and I'm just super excited to be here. So thanks for having me.
I personally don't know anything about what you have there in the jar, but I'm going out on a limb to say that is not kosher.
No.
So if you were trying to, Mom, not going to get you one. So I hope you don't have your hopes up. Actually, when I was reading your website, I was like, oh, family comes from like a line of cooks, and it's amazing. And when I was younger too, like I don't come from a line of cooks, but I will state on record that I was raised on the finest and most expensive canned vegetables that money can buy. I am a dole girl. But when I was younger, like in the morning, I used to pretend my kitchen was a restaurant, and so I would go down in the morning and I would make menus, and I'd have like my family come down and I'd set it all up, and so I think that's how we like carry it on. But one of my questions that I had for you, and kind of on the question tip, what is one of the funniest, craziest, weirdest questions you've ever gotten?
So I need to be on the mic. So because my job is to never let anyone feel dumb. You can ask me anything. I will never let you feel dumb. The tagline of my show is I answer home cooks' dumb questions, because no one ever says, I've got a great question. No one ever says, I have a really smart question. Everyone says, I have a really dumb question. And they think that I know everything, and I only know a small sliver of my accountant knows how little I know. But one time, there was someone who said to me, I was showing them how to, in a cooking class, I was showing them how to remove the foot from the scallop. Now, a scallop, the muscle that we eat is the adductor muscle that holds the two bivalve shells together and allows the animal to go like so in the water. The whole organism is around that muscle. You know when you have an oyster and you have to cut a muscle? That muscle in the scallop is the thing that we eat. And it has a little piece, a secondary muscle that if you cook it, it gets really tough and not delicious, and that muscle's called the foot. So I've gone through this whole explanation. This is the only reason I will tell this story, because I didn't have someone's full attention. And she said, so I said, you have to go through and make sure you remove all the feet from the scallops. And she said, I will also point out she was really angry that I didn't know that she was a 1990s MTV reality star. So I also feel...
What does that even mean?
No, I know. I was like, you're in the real world? She was like, no. But she wouldn't tell me what she was on. She was highly offended. So she jumps back into the lesson.
Sorry,
She's like...
there's been like 50 real worlds like that.
Everyone's been in a real world. Right. I'm like, I'm a reality star. Come on.
Celebrity stuff.
I pull the muscle off and I say, you have to remove all the feet. And she says, wait. Are you telling me scallops have feet? And I'm like, in my head, all I can imagine is like scallops on the floor of the ocean, like walking around in like little fundy shoes or like whatever it is. And I was like, no. Yeah, nope, they don't. So that's sort of my go-to, like, what's the dumbest thing you've ever been asked? But most people's questions are like really good. Like, are you supposed to salt the water before or after it comes to a boil for pasta? Do you know the answer?
I think it's before, but I could be wrong.
It's pick one and stick with it. So you never wonder, did I salt the water?
Right.
So if you always do it before, you know. If you always do it after, you know.
Yeah.
If you go back and
muscle
forth.
Memory, like you know that when
Right.
you put the pot on, turn it on, put the salt in.
Precisely.
Or, oh, it's boiling.
Yep.
Put the salt
Or
in.
when it's boiling, your fingers have a lot of capacity to withstand pain. I can't feel anything to my elbows anymore, but you can just touch the water and lick it and be like, oh, it's salty. I already did that. That's usually how I remember how to do it, if I salted it or not.
That's funny. I used to work at a Chinese restaurant in college, and he had no feeling in his hand. So after he was done with the wok, he would like put the water in and use his hands to be like cleaning it out, and then he would like dump it.
Because it's so much faster if you don't feel pain. If you have to go and get something, then it's like, oh, you have to go. So you just train yourself to like deal with pain, and there's a threshold. Yep. I mean,
Those chefs are like hardcore.
I know. You know what? Let's test this out. Who's got a candle? Come on. 20 minutes, you guys.
So I see that we have some questions.
Yes,
Should we
we have
answer
some
them now?
questions.
Should we like,
Absolutely.
you want to wait till the end? How do you want, we should answer now?
Why don't we answer some now?
Let's answer now.
Alright, we have a couple now. We can do a couple later.
We'll do, yeah, why not? Why not take a couple now and
Have you eaten peacock? Peck? Nope.
I don't know.
If you've never heard of it, then if you didn't put cha,
Pacha? No. What is it?
I'll save it for another episode of your chef.
All right, perfect. I am going to have my friend is bringing a can of the Swedish national food, which is fermented fish in a can. It's called.
gefilte.
It's,
Gefilte.
and then the more the can swells, the better it's gonna be. You eat it in Sweden in the spring outside because it's so horrific.
Field trip.
Yeah. Oh, May 2nd. Come out to the farm. Okay, let's see. Oh, sex and food do tell. Lobster. Okay, I've never actually brought a lobster into the bedroom. But food can be like super sexy. Like even just the act of like cooking next to someone and like you're in the same space and you're like brushing up against each other. Like
I know
you're like getting turned on right now.
Because I
Right?
was thinking of an experience. I was grocery shopping with a guy one time, and
What is it? What?
because we were actually at a
Is this-
deli. I said that because we weren't at like Aristides. We were at like the deli around the corner from the bodega. And we were walking around, and I went to pick up a cucumber, and he was not from this country. He goes, you know, in my country, we eat those. And I was like, that was funny, because I didn't think he had much of a personality. But then he said that, and I was like, wow, maybe I should rethink that, you know?
Are you still together?
No, he lives in a different country.
Oh, well.
And I should
Hard
have gone
to-
with the cucumber. To be honest.
I will tell you that I fell in love with my husband at the farmer's market. He took me to, I had not gone to culinary school. I was a teacher, a middle school teacher in Bed-Stuy, and he took me on this date to the farmer's market and introduced, like he knew all the farmers, and he like knew this mushroom farmer and picked out all these mushrooms and made me this
That's
incredible dinner. I called my mom the next morning and I was like, I'm gonna marry this guy. Love you.
Oh, that's so sweet. I have an ex-boyfriend. One night he made dinner. It was fish microwaved in a bag. I said, where was this even? I've never
dump
even
him?
seen. Yes, he has since been dumped.
Now the microwave is actually a good place for fish, but I would encourage you to use parchment paper and not plastic.
No, but you bought it in the plastic pouch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what
No.
is this?
Oh, the state of our, yeah. Okay, so what is the key to hard-boiled eggs? I have it. This is
Ooh,
perfect. The perfect recipe.
I need to brace myself.
You want to hear a quick story first? So on my radio show, I get asked this question about cooking eggs a lot. How do you poach eggs? How do you soft-boil eggs? How do you hard-boil eggs? Hard-boiled eggs is by far and away the question I get asked the most. So I have a friend who happens to be the executive chef at Per Se, which is Thomas Keller's restaurant in New York City.
I just went there a few weeks ago.
Did you? I've never been. Is it incredible?
It was pretty, yeah, I think it was probably the best meal I ever had in my life.
It's like theater, right? It's like food theater.
Yeah, it was a 4-hour meal.
It's an event.
It was.
So Eli is the executive chef, and I called him and I said, "Would you come on my radio show and answer this question?" He's just as intense as you would imagine. He's this very tall, I think Eastern European-born man, And he sits, I said, how do you hard-boiled eggs? And he says, we don't. I was like, well, what? I mean, he's like, they crack the eggs, they separate the yolk from the white, then they spoon the white into egg-shaped molds, silicone molds, and bake them until they're set, and then pop them out, and you have perfect little eggs. And then they take the yolk, season it however they want, and then sous vide it per se, but you could just put it into a Ziploc baggie into a pot of simmering water until they set, and then put it in the food processor or just like mix it up with some mayo and flavor. I was like, what? Cheating.
Yeah,
No,
that's
cheating. Do you want to solve a problem? Get rid of the problem. Brilliant, right? Eli, full credit, probably maybe Tom TK before that. We're like this. So if you don't have a silicone mold or you don't have time to, do because it is kind of a little bit more of a process, you put your eggs into a pot of water, cold tap water with some salt and a little vinegar, and the vinegar will help if the eggs. If the egg should crack, it'll prevent the white from spilling out all over. It'll hold the white together. And then you bring it to a rolling boil over high heat. As soon as it's a rolling boil, not a simmer, turn off the heat, put a lid on it, let them sit for 9 minutes. Done. Perfect. No green ring. Delicious, fudgy all the way through. Perfect.
What
Yep.
about peeling? Okay, peel.
So there are a million methods out there. Like if you add baking soda, if you do this, if you do that, they should be old. They shouldn't be old. I've tried every single. It doesn't matter. I can't. The only way I can guarantee that the egg will peel perfectly is to separate it before you cook it, and use a silicone mold. Do we have time for one more? You mentioned frog dissection kit. Do you like frog legs, and how do you prepare? I've eaten frog legs once, and I was on a family vacation along with my aunt and uncle as the nanny of their 2 slightly younger children, and my uncle ordered them deep fried, and they are like chicken wings. Delicious. Tastes like chicken. They were delicious. And the crazy thing is that it's just half a frog. It's like frog legs. There's nothing, but I would totally eat that again. Pig snouts, no. Frog legs, yes.
Yeah,
I would say deep fried.
Kermie, not piggy.
Yeah, pretty much. And Kermie's lower half, not Kermie's upper. Not his face. I don't want to eat Kermie's face.
Always an upper.
I do have like one question, and I love asking this to people who are like in the kitchen. What if you could only have? Well, this is like hypothetical, right? Because you wouldn't ever just have one thing in the kitchen, like your favorite
Like a tool?
your favorite kitchen tool, or
My knife.
So
If I didn't have my knife, I could have the best of everything else and be effed.
What about as far as like a food processor, a steamer, or this or that? Like if you had one toaster oven, I don't know. I'm trying to.
Ooh,
find
toaster oven's good.
So I
Really?
personally could not live without my steamer. I think that is like a perfect key thing to have in your kitchen.
I love to steam. I think a really high quality, there's a company, if you want to hit me up for a sponsorship, I tell everyone. It's called ScanPan. They are Dutch, and they have made this anodized aluminum pan that doesn't have any coating in it, that's completely non-stick. I cook everything. You can fry an egg in it with no fat.
Nothing?
Not that you would ever want to, but I just did to see if it was true. Nothing. And
People don't really stay together that long anymore. Like I'm not even have a chance to be with anybody that long. So I called her to wish her a happy anniversary, and they're like older, like 39. No, seriously, like I'm already like out of the will, but if I told you her real age, I would definitely be disowned. So she's 39. But I was speaking to her on the phone, and we talk, and then I said, well, where's Grandpa? And she said, oh, he's in the other room sitting at his desk, which was funny because I swear to God, every single time I've talked to her my entire life, he's always watching Judge Judy. But he was like, he's always at his desk. And so at his desk, I was like, oh, that's where the computer is. And by the way, even though they are 39 plus, they're very techno savvy. So she says, he's there. He's like on, sitting at his desk. He's always at his desk. And I was like, you better go in there and get him and tell him stop looking at so much porn. And I was like, haha, and then she didn't say anything. So I was like, well, she's older. She's got a hearing aid. She didn't hear me. But I thought I was like really funny and cheeky. So I was like, well, maybe you should go in there and get him and tell him to stop watching so much porn. And she was like, yeah, I heard you the first time. So I was like, wow. The old people, I will say that, like, I'm already out of the family. I did find Playboys, like, when I was much, much, much younger, but I was like, so, technology, it's great, isn't it?
My mom told me the one I found was a collector's item. That's what my dad had.
Oh, I bet all 208 of the ones I found they were all collector's items, I'm pretty sure.
I believe that until just right now. I'm just putting it together.
Sorry to
Vintage.
ruin that for you. I wanted to talk about what I made, and so you guys, I decided that when life hands you lemons, you make lemon poppy bread. Yay. So that is what I have for you all sitting over here that you guys can all taste. But another thing that we do during our shows, I'm going to invite Killy back up and Emily, because we really like to get into the mind of our artists and our interesting friends to see what makes them tick. And they always have great tips for us, artists outside. So come on back up, ladies.
This way, or so it's not so much out of the street. There you go. It feels. I can see you all here. Don't be so. Angle yourself towards the audience here. I want you to face this. I guess they're sort of held in the corner. I'm trying to split the difference between the camera and the audience. There you go. That's fine. All right. Cool.
Look dangerous. Before the show, Mike was taking pictures and said, look happy, look surprised, look dangerous. And I got happy and surprised, and then she got to dangerous, and I went, I don't know how to do dangerous.
I don't hear anything coming out of this one. Check, 1, 2. It's fine on camera. Well, I talk pretty loud anyway, so I think that anybody that's in this room can probably hear me anyway. They can probably hear me all the way in Bed-Stuy. Actually, because I did talk to you just a little bit, I actually had some questions for you, Killy, very first before we get into it. Questions. So, would you consider yourself first a comedian or first a musician?
A musician.
Musician.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. Comedian to me is sort of a dirty word in a sense. That's a whole thing I'm not sure I want to get into, because comedians are hardcore, and they're vicious to an extent, and it's like a mafia type thing. You're like, I really don't want to say anything bad about comedians, because but they're a pretty intense group. I think they're probably the most fucked up of all the artists.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Followed by musicians, I would think.
I'm now everyone in Ohio and all comedians hate me, so I'm just pretty much at this point.
Hey Ohio!
They're like, you're dead to us. No, but I love comedy, and I have a real love for dark comedy, and that tends to not really be a stand-up type thing. I mean, it can be. But I think it lends itself better. And actually, I consider myself more of a musical theater performance artist than anything
cabaret.
else.
That was a good description of you.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Nice. And so what was your first instrument that you picked up?
The first instrument my parents made me learn, they asked me what I wanted to learn because it was important to learn an instrument in the house. And I picked up piano.
Nice.
But I really just hated practicing. And I really enjoyed singing more. And I got into, I did You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. I was Sally.
I was in
You're
that
good,
musical,
was I
like
Sally
7th
or
grade.
Patty? Right now I can't remember. I'm sorry, I'm a little hungover. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't want to lie to the people out
The
there.
camera doesn't lie.
Saturday night happens in New York City, and then Sunday brunch happens, and things happen. But yeah, I did You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, and that was like, I was like, wow, this is like everything.
So fun.
This is everything. Yeah, yeah. So that was, I guess, somewhere between piano and vocals, because I do consider this an instrument, as you talked about, and a very delicate, fragile instrument. In fact, I
pretty
did
much-
the same thing. I had to be on vocal rest, but for 4 weeks. For
Oh my-
4 weeks, I was on vocal
Yeah.
rest. So.
Do you know what? This is what I realized after being on vocal rest that long. There's so many things that we like just don't need to say.
So true.
Honestly,
So true. My husband said the same thing.
I bet he did.
It's like the yeah. I was.
He's like, remember that last week
Sometimes.
when we were talking? Yeah, you didn't even say any of that.
I got really good at. I did have texting though, which you
Oh
didn't.
yeah, see, I didn't have that.
So I had my phone, and it was so like, you know, emotions are something that I believe that if you cannot vocalize those, if you cannot cry or if you cannot sometimes yell or talk things through, that it can actually represent even more tension
yeah.
within your spine and in your neck. And so I found that I was like, the way that I would text an argument was like, I was like, like the rest of my entire
Everything
body,
got
rather
into
than
it.
screaming, turned into this like, I was like, it was like a monster. And it was good times, but I haven't had too much trouble with my voice since then, because I do warm up all the time, and I try to
Yeah,
take
nice.
good care of it, except for all the booze and cigarettes. Other than that,
I mean, I'm pretty sure that I'm like the favorite singer of my building when I warm up every morning.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
they love that.
Yeah.
Shower warm up.
A shower. I make sure to like, you know,
Yeah, it's
shower,
great.
kitchen, the back of the house. I make sure that like every part of the apartment, like nobody's left out, downstairs, upstairs. I'm also pretty sure I'm their favorite DJ when I have like my own dance parties, and pretty sure. I'm gonna send like a blind ballot out just to be like, who's your favorite DJ on our block? Yeah, pretty sure it's me. Anyway, so I do have some questions for you all. Don't worry, it was nothing you could study for. I will ask you like 4 questions, 3 that are like real questions, and some that I made up. Can you guys hear me out there?
Okay.
Oh, okay, cool. So, if you would like to start, I'm going to ask you both the same questions, and if we will pick numbers 1 through 18.
Ooh. This sounds daunting.
It's really. Well, you can pick one first, or she can pick one first.
I'm gonna pick.
Should we flip a
I'm gonna
coin?
pick number 9.
9.
Number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9.
All right.
It's a good song.
What is your most persistent distraction, and how do you keep it in check?
Oh my gosh. My most persistent distraction. I feel like I'm like Miss on the Miss America pageant. My
Yes.
most persistent distraction in life would be Facebook. Totally Facebook.
the
Definitely
devil.
Facebook. I am.
How do you keep it in check? Get off Facebook.
Does anybody have any Facebook pointers? There is an app. I have used that, and I just went to another computer. I was just like,
I'm here to check my status right now.
Yeah.
How many people liked it? Come
and
on.
I do a lot of work on my computer. I mean, I'm most people work on a computer now. I mean,
Right,
I
of
write
course.
songs on there. I do, I am constantly around it. So I'm like, I'll just pop over.
And
4
hours later, you're like,
I'm
oh.
like, oh no, what happened to my life?
Exactly.
I'm 40. What happened? Where did everything go?
Exactly.
But that post that I made on Facebook got like 17 likes.
That's
My dog
pretty
is like
awesome.
super famous on Facebook too. So.
Monkey?
Yeah, Monkey, my dog.
know your
so,
dog.
Yeah, she's like.
We're Facebook friends, I think.
Yeah.
Hello.
See, that's the thing. She's a superstar. I am just along for the ride.
I know, you're riding her dog tails. Did she answer that question? Yes, please.
The same question.
Yes, I can repeat it. What is your most persistent distraction, and how do you keep it in check?
See, and this whole time I was like, yeah, I would have said Facebook, but also I have a toddler.
You should get rid of them.
I thought for a really, really long time I wanted to have 2 kids, and I was like bent on having 2 kids, and we were gonna have 2, and they were gonna be close together. Fuck that.
Yeah.
No way. About 2 weeks ago, I said to my husband, like, what if we just took the pressure off because he's 2.5 now. So I'm like, we want to be close together. Tick tock, tick tock. And I was like, great. And then I said, what do we do? And he was like, yeah, that'd be okay. My life has improved 100-fold just without the pressure of he doesn't sleep through the night and he poops in diapers 4 times a day.
Yeah.
That's really distracting. And when I was
How do you keep that in check?
I put him in preschool.
Nice. Oh, that's a good way to solve that.
I got
like
to
that.
2.5 at 2.5 plus 1 day.
You're like, oh, look, it's time to go to school.
Oh, they open at 7 a.m. We're there. We're there.
You're like waiting at the door. There's a
And
line.
he's great.
All the
He took
parents.
to it like a duck to a pond. He's fine. There was a moment where I thought oh, am I missing his child? No, not even a little. They
Were like, can you come get your son? He's been here since Tuesday. It's Friday. Hello.
I'm just trying to finish this. I just have one more book proposal.
I'm on Facebook.
One more book proposal.
Got it right. Exactly. Would you like to pick the next number?
You pick 9. I'll pick 6.
Perfect. Can you recall any specific times you ever asked for help?
I ask for help all of the time. I got really comfortable with not faking it. And if I need help, I'm like, I don't know how to do this. Even when it comes to cooking, there are recipes that my students will be cooking at NYU. Maybe I shouldn't say this. I love you guys. I've never cooked them before, and they're like, is this what this is supposed to look like? I'm like, I have no idea. Let me go ask for help. Let me ask someone who's done it.
Let's Google it.
Right. And it's like, how do you write a book proposal? I don't know. Let me ask someone. How do you tell a story? I don't know. Let me ask somebody. That, getting over your ego of, you have to know everything, that's so exhausting.
Yeah.
There's stuff that I know, and I know that I know, and I don't like it when someone tells me that I'm wrong when I know I'm right.
Right,
But I
of course.
have no problem being like, I have no idea how to do this. Can you help me? And almost, to the point of being annoying, I think. Where I'm like, could you explain this to me? I don't know what I'm doing. I explained it to you last week. I know, but it's still not working. So, the engineer of my radio show, I think I border on, annoying him. But he's great. So.
That's all good. Do you want me to repeat it for you?
Yes.
Can you recall any specific times you asked for help, besides me asking you if you needed that question repeated? No,
I know, right? I am not good at asking for help.
Me either.
I am. That's tough for me. I guess my husband is the person that I am most confident and 16.
Great. How do you keep focused on a goal?
I don't.
All right, thank you. And Emily.
I don't. I mean, I guess I look at there's a long picture. Of course, that is the main goal. But there's so many goals in a day,
Right.
especially now that we multitask so much. I am writing a song. I am doing social networking. I am emailing for gigs. I am, petting my dog.
God wants you to come. There's so many things.
Yeah, I'm masturbating 4 to 8 times a day. I mean, it's it's a multitasking thing. So I think the goal is to just, then I'm in the bathroom and I'm putting laundry and I'm like, what was I? Where?
Yeah.
What was I? Oh yeah, it was writing a song. So then I come back around and then I circle back through, and somehow that works for me. I don't think that works for everyone, but my brain has about 50,000 thoughts
Yeah,
happening.
I'm right there with
if
you.
I'm not just constantly doing 60 things, I don't feel. I guess that's my goal. Is just to constantly do, a bunch of different things at once.
Absolutely.
I have that same thing. Yeah. And I'm constantly doing things, and I'll, particularly if I'm cooking for a gig, and then I'll get to a point in the kitchen where I'm like, I was on my way to do something important.
What was I going to do?
Oh God! Because one misstep and it can just be everything's off the rails. Right.
I know.
Was it Tyler or Facebook, or was it that risotto? Fuck, I don't remember. Where's James? Where's the baby? So in the long-term goal life, I really want to be on TV.
Nice.
And when I tell people that,
Good step forward there.
they look at me like I'm crazy. Like I'm delusional or deluded.
Really?
And
Why?
what I have realized is that no one, it's the same thing with telling everyone, just saying I'm a celebrity chef on to get it printed on a name tag at an event. no one's going to come, when you work for yourself, no one's going to come from downstairs and tell you what your title is. You just do it.
Right.
So we used to joke that, my husband and I used to joke that one day, everything's going to be all right. One day the Food Network's going to call. And we'd be like, ha, and people around us would be like, ha, and then one day they called.
Nice.
So I was like, Food Network called. He was like, shut the fuck up. I was like, no, I'm not. I'm literally not kidding. And that's how I got to be on Cutthroat Kitchen, which was amazing. So now I was like, okay, heard. I'm gonna make that Rachel Ray money.
Heck yeah.
And today it's gonna happen. And I can only believe that that's true because what's the alternative? If that's your goal and you say, no, it's probably not gonna happen, I might as well go find a cubicle, and I just can't do that. So my brother has a really good. My brother says, get knocked down 7 times, you're the one who gets up 8. And it's so just like, just get up 8. And now we'll just like text each other, like, get up 8.
Nice.
And so that's our like mantra.
Ah, I love it.
Oh, number.
Yeah, but this is different now because I have questions that I wrote.
Okay.
And they're way much harder than these other ones. And it's 1 through 13. So, is it your turn to pick a number?
1.
If you were an element on the periodic table, what would you be?
Oh, God. So, science is not my strong.
Salt. How about salt?
I know that is not an element. That is a compound. I knew that.
Well, I also failed chemistry, so
okay, no,
yeah.
yes, I would be, but we'll go with it. I would be salt. I would be NaCl, which is
Combination.
something chloride. Sodium. It's sodium chloride. I would be sodium chloride. I actually
Nice.
I don't have any tattoos. My fear is that I will become someone who is photographed for having all of the tattoos if I get one. So I haven't broken the seal on that, but I was going to get a salt molecule tattooed on me somewhere, and I realized, I learned that it's not a molecule. It is like a suspension, or someone explained it to me, and it was like, oh, well, fuck that.
There goes that.
Don't have
You're like, that
tattoo.
whole table I got with that one highlight, it's not there.
No, I was going to sound like ethereal and say oxygen. Like a lot of air.
There.
Here we go.
I was like, okay.
Top line, what was on
I
there?
could think of, and then use Yeah, I'm not a periodic.
All right, I can ask a different question.
Yeah.
If you were a spice, what would you be? Not a spice girl, an actual spice.
Oh my gosh, you have to go first.
I know.
This is my wheelhouse. I'm literally imagining my cupboard at home, in which there are many spices. Side note, you should throw them away every 6 months and replenish them. They lose their volatility. The oils lose their volatility. I would be something versatile between sweet and savory, so I would go with nutmeg.
Oh,
That
that's a
is
good
one that lasts forever. If you get it in its whole form, you can use it in sweet applications, in curry. And it
Nice.
is very reminiscent of a particular cocktail called a painkiller that holds a special place in my heart.
Oh,
I'll take 2 painkillers. Yes, can we get 2 painkillers back here, bartender? Thank you.
Okay, well, I guess, I think that I would want to be a very useful spice that could be used in many, many different things. And I love black pepper, and I just feel like that's, I probably use that a lot. Salt and black pepper, obviously.
Yeah, basics.
Season your food, people, as I'm sure you know. But yeah, black pepper is my jam.
Your jam?
Right there, yeah. Once you go
Nice.
black pepper.
yeah, like a peppercorn where you're...
Oh, I grind.
She grinds.
I'm a grinder.
She grinds that shit.
I love all kinds of pepper, but black is, it's just the...
But you have something against white pepper? Is that what it's...
I'm not prejudiced.
White pepper matters. Just kidding. Just kidding. I think on that note, we will...
I liked it.
It is really good if you do switch it up with the white vinegar. And we won't go there. But anyway, thank you, ladies, so much for your insight.
It's chilly in here.
It is chilly in here.
The tinkle.
All right. Well, I just want to take a moment. So the people that have joined us, you are watching Ms. Stephanie's House live, because it says so on that sign. You can find us online at MsStephanie'sHouse.com. You can, if you have any other questions for Emily, You can reach her at sharpenhot.com. Is that the best place, or I had your actual website?
Sharpenhot.com or chefemilypeterson.com.
All right.
Can I put a plug in for Heritage Radio Network?
Yeah, of course.
We are 40, I think we're up to 42 weekly half-hour shows all about food and cooking, and we broadcast out of Bushwick. My show's on live at 2 on Tuesdays. Everything's available as a podcast, and we're in the middle of a Kickstarter campaign to build our new website, which will be our storefront to the world. $5 helps you guys.
So that's heritageradionetwork.org?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Awesome.
I think or .com. I think either one. If you just go to Heritage Radio Network, you will get there. And we are not related to the other Heritage, like crazy neocon right-wing stuff. That someone tried to book me on one of those shows, and I was like, I think this is a different Heritage. You haven't seen my website, okay?
Nice. And I want to just say, okay, so your website. Okay, www.kellybdwyer.com. I wanted to show your really cool.
Or if it's easier to remember, Killy the Kid, Killy the Kid.
She has these super cool. It's a magnet, but it's like when you were younger and used to play
Paper dollies.
paper dollies.
Yeah, that's my merch. I have paper ones and I have magnetic ones that you can put on your refrigerator and defile as you wish. I've had a lot of people send me photos of like what they've done with me. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I know what I've gotten myself into.
Nice.
It's always exciting though.
Perfect. All right, we're gonna clear off.
Oh,
So
clear.
Kelly's got another set.
Yeah.
So I do want to say.
Oh, do you want this?
Need help with the reset?
We're gonna play musical chairs now, so.
Anybody guess from the circle? Wait, I want to say because are you doing my favorite song in this set?
Gosh, I don't know if I can remember all the words. Yeah, sure, if you want me to.
Okay, well, this is a very important song, another PSA, something that's very close to my heart and my mouth, and she has done a song about something that is very important to me, flossing. None of you people back there know me, but I want everyone to know that I am anal about oral hygiene. And one of the most disappointing times in my life is when I had come back from Europe, and for like 5 days straight, I forgot to pick up floss. And I was really mental over it. Like I was like the next morning, I'm like, oh, my teeth, it just feels so. Anyway, more people need to floss. I need to stop dating less guys from England. And she has written a song about that she's going to do. And we also have, I don't know where it is. Anyway, without further ado, I'm going to, we have an email list, sorry. Scattered. And tips for the performers. We had a hat somewhere, but I guess it's gone. Anyway, without further ado, please put your hands together and welcome back Killy Dwyer.
Okay, well, I think I'm gonna do. Maybe I'll save Floss Boss for like the big finale. Although there is a child here, and it is a very child-friendly song because America's Got Talent wanted me to write a family-friendly song, and so I wrote Floss Boss. That's where, and I'm also very passionate about flossing. I mean, I'm very, very passionate. When I was young, when I first started recognizing, music and thinking about music, I would hear patterns because I'm bipolar, and one of the things that happens to me is that I pretty much I hear everything all the time at once, and I pick out little pieces that are like patterns, like this one is. That was the last song. That was beautiful. You guys know the British it's like the British ambulance. Okay, so that one got stuck in my head, and I wanted to write a love song. And so this is a love song based off a British ambulance sound about cloning. Okay. like just a little guitar. It's like a nice little. I'm gonna improvise some of this. So. I like it. It's got like a nice little. When you're gonna hear that, it'll come back around. I like it. It's got like a nice little. I love flaws. Flaws are my thing. I like so. It's got like a nice little. They're important, and so is rhythm. So I'm gonna put some rhythm on a nice little. I like it. It's got like a nice little. I like it. It's got like a nice little. I like it. It's got like a nice little. I like it. It's got like a nice little. All right. It's dedicated to my husband. It's got like a nice little. Craig. 'Cause one of you is not enough to deal with me and all my stuff. Two or more of you, my dear, would alleviate my growing fear that you'll get going when the going gets tough. Break it down. Think of all the good times we'll have when the other two can deal with the bad, the breakdowns, PMS, and the sad. When I get in fist fights and I drunk down my dad, you know the three is company. When one of you is dumping me, the other two can comfort me. I like it. It's got like a nice little. I am going to clone you, though you are far from perfect. It's got like a nice little. I am going to clone you. You are my science project. It's got like a nice little. I am going to clone you in case you break or you get sick. I'm going to clone you in case I accidentally kill you. I am going to clone you 'cause I love you. I almost just made my own self cry. That's so cool. I think it is. I think it's really cool. So I need, for the next song, this is kind of exciting, I need 2 audience volunteers. So you'll do, and young lady, would you like to come up as well? I haven't done this song in a while, but go right over here, sir. What's your name? Mark. And a lovely lady, what is your name? Oh, careful, watch out. We'll call you Jill. Mark and Jill. Okay, well don't worry, don't panic. There's no need to be afraid in any way, shape, or form. Don't worry about it, I promise. Okay, that's gonna be great. Okay, hold on, just hold there, stay there. Margaret, right? It's Margaret. You hold this. Okay, this is called teamwork. This is called me asking for help, I guess. This is the time where we're gonna do that. So you guys are my helpers, and it's really, the song is all about me trying to make you guys trying to make it as easy for me as possible not to mess this up. In fact, you come around here, right, like that. That's good. You're good there. This is my sight line to the camera. Don't want the people to stop. All right, all right, how's that sound out there? I need it a little louder myself. All right, do you guys have a Casio SK when you were kids? I mean, come on, 1980s, that stuff's awesome. Did you think I'd be a total bitch when you met me? Did you fear our first encounter at the bar? Did you say, hey, is everything alright with you? Or was that subtle road rage back there in the car? Bitchy, 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 resting face. Bitchy, 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 resting face. Please stop asking if I'm mad at you. Don't tell me I should smile more. This is just the way my face actually looks. No, you're not a total draining douchebag bore. Bitchy, 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 resting face. Bitchy, 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 resting face. Face. No, I'm not upset. This is just my face, and I am really happy, and I love this fucking place. Inside I am happy, though my face don't always show it. Please stop asking if I'm happy, and I know it. Clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Then your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. Clap your hands. Bitchy, 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 resting face. Bitchy, 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 resting face. All right, guys, ready? Turn it out, turn it out, turn it out, turn it out. Rest your bitch face. It's like a subtle, yeah, this is nice over here. This is really good over here. That's nice too. I really like that. This is great. All right, turn it back. Here we go. Face. Face. Thank you. Sally and Jesse, everyone. Who would have guessed? It's almost like Sally, Jesse, Raphael was here. Special guest.
Hey, can you let me know when you have one more song?
Yeah, sure. How are we doing on time? One more song. One more song. Okay.
Wait, well, can I just make one
Sure.
announcement before you do your last song? Sure. I want to thank everybody for coming out and thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank Sisters for letting us do our show here. Thank you. Whoa. Thank you to everybody in the front of the restaurant. Thank you to Sean, Micah, and Ed, of course. And, of course, Killy, Dwyer. Yay. And Emily Peterson, thank you both for coming out today. You can always find us online at www.MsStephanie'sHouse.com. Our next show is next Sunday, May 3rd. We have a great lineup, so please tune in. So I'm going to let Kelly do her thing and get us out of here. Thank you. All right, girls. Take it over.
Okay, well, as you guys know, this was a request from the lovely Miss Stephanie. So, it's got a lot of words. We'll see how it goes. Oh, yeah! I got something stuck up in my grill. Chill. I got floss, boss. It's 2:30! Come on, bounce. Bounce with me. Since I was a kid, my melon was filled with dread that my teeth would all fall out of my pretty little head. Thrice on the daily, I clean my potty mouth hole. It's the yap that I trap food in. Kiss, sweating, blowhole, floss. Muffins, gum disease, and tooth loss, floss. Show your teeth who is the floss boss. I wanna chew my cud till my dying breath. Eating hardcore foods till my hardcore death. One time I couldn't find any floss to floss my teeth with, so I pulled out Steph's hair and I flossed with it, bitch, floss! Present from the season tooth loss, floss. Show your teeth who is the floss boss. This is where I dance around in the tooth costume usually. I usually wear a whole tooth costume, it's a thing. I'm trying to be serious today though.